Hello, everybody. Welcome to a brand new episode of Pulse Pods. It's your favorite podcast host, DJ El Pablo. Here we go.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to a brand new episode of Pulse Pods. This is episode 20, and it's a special episode released on the 20th of October, 2021, and it's exactly 1 year after there was a massacre in Lagos, Nigeria. This is a special episode, and I'm not gonna talk too much. I'm just gonna, shed some light from the point of view of someone who was actually in the thick of things during the protests in Nigeria last year, and we can take it out from there. So first, I'm just gonna play something from a forum that she gave a speech at. It's the Oslo Freedom Forum in Oslo, Norway. So I'm basically going to play an experience from a popular DJ in Nigeria, DJ Switch, and you're just gonna listen and then take what you can from there, and then we can talk about it at the end. Thank you for listening. I really appreciate you for listening, and we know this has been a hard 12 months since 20th of October 2020. So, but just listen, and then we can meet on the other side.
Thank you. Good morning. Look at that. I've often heard that it is best to start these types of talks with a joke to make you people feel comfortable and relaxed. And so I have no such plans. What I do have, though, is a clip from a live recording I made on the 20th of October, 2020. Please, viewer discretion is advised.
They're shooting us! They're shot two people! Oh my goodness!
What's your name?
See somebody else. Everybody look at this. These are the bullets that were falling by our side, that were dodging bullets.
My name is Obianuju Catherine Ude. Don't worry, you can call me DJ Switch. I'm from Enugu State, which is in the southeast region of Nigeria. For years, young Nigerians like myself with interesting hairstyles, ripped jeans, iPhones, nice cars, have been harassed, extorted, illegally detained, tortured, raped, and killed by the Nigerian police. Specifically, a unit of the Nigerian police called SARS. SARS stands for Special Anti-Robbery Squad, and trust me, they truly are a special bunch. A special breed of armed robbers in uniform. A special group and gang of rapists with a badge. A special crowd of murderers with a license to carry a gun. For as long as I can remember, we begged and petitioned the Nigerian government to put an end to this corrupt unit. And to their credit, they complied, or at least it seemed like they complied. First, with the disbandment of SARS in 2016, then again in 2017, 2018, 2019. I know it's an abusive relationship. 2020, and I know we all won't be forgetting 2020 in a hurry. As the coronavirus ravaged the globe, back home in Nigeria, we were more afraid of another type of virus, SARS. On the 3rd of October, a video surfaced online where SARS officers shot a young man and fled with his Lexus SUV. We were outraged. But this was followed by the gunning down of an up-and-coming Nigerian musician. I'm a musician. Could have been me. At this point, the hashtag #EndSARS was trending all over the world. And thanks to Nigeria's biggest celebrities and artists, influencers who said, enough is enough, it is time we speak up. And so by the 8th of October, the streets of Nigeria were filled with young men and women protesting police brutality, and I was one of them. But it is the 20th of October, 2020, that has brought me here today. On that very horrible day, the Nigerian army, sanctioned by the Nigerian government, stormed the Lekki toll gate. And this is a major roadway in Lagos State, by the way. No warning, no dialogue. Soldiers opened fire on unarmed, peaceful protesters with live ammunition. We cried, we braced, and we started to sing the national anthem, just with the hopes that they recognize we're not their enemy. And it made no difference. As I laid on the floor, I remember a young man, he just jumped on top of my body and he was screaming, "Cover her, cover her." I couldn't really make sense of what the whole thing was about. He was struck by a bullet on his lower back. I genuinely believe he saved my life, and I don't even know who he is. I don't even know why I didn't run, to be honest. At that time, I thought it was the end. And so my instinct at the moment was show everybody what's going on. You know, you're going to die here today. And so I pulled out my phone, went to Instagram, started live broadcasting this madness. Viewers on the live helped us call ambulances, but the soldiers refused the ambulance's entry. And so some of us had to turn into instant surgeons in an attempt to remove the bullet from the leg of a protester. Eventually the shooting stopped, and we observed that some of the soldiers were picking up their shells, I believe in an attempt to hide evidence of this crime. And so we scampered around to pick the shells that we could find in an attempt to have evidence of this crime. And this was while other soldiers were dumping bodies onto their trucks. They left, and we felt a sense of victory, you know. Some can't really explain it. We were happy and angry, relieved but in pain. But unfortunately, after being on Instagram Live for so long, my phone battery died. Because not too long after, another phase of attack was upon us. But this time it was the Nigerian police. And they came in guns blazing as well. And so we ran. We took the injured to a nearby hospital and the others to a church. The church apparently had been on the live and they had offered us refuge. By the next morning, soldiers raided the hospital looking for me. And I owe a great deal of gratitude and thanks to a friend and colleague who had called me earlier and said, put off the location on your phone and leave that hospital as soon as possible. And so it was barely 15 minutes after I left. But it didn't end there. My boss and his wife got threatening phone calls. I couldn't go home to where I lived because we got reports of strange men lurking around my apartment complex. I haven't gone home, actually, since the 20th of October 2020. Speaking of home, I'm from a large family of 8, 5 boys, 3 girls, with very opposing characters, I tell you. I'm the last, with a sprinkle of last child crazy. But I remember my parents, they worked really hard to provide us with basic things: food, education, healthcare, security, allowances. All while teaching us to love and respect each other's differences. On the other hand, Nigeria is home to over 200 million brothers and sisters with different cultures and tribes and faiths and beliefs. Things and differences that the government has used for the longest time to pit us against each other. But the NSAS movement swept that away, even if it was just for a time being. I witnessed protesters collaborating and helping each other. Protesters giving food and water to the same police who's been killing us off every day. Others provided security. Another group provided funds that were donated to them, in the hundreds of thousands of dollars, for legal and medical attention to protesters who needed it. This is the real Nigeria. But the Nigerian government, much like an irresponsible parent, failed to see the opportunity as a learning curve, to listen to the cries of its quote-unquote children. Instead, they chose to deny these events and also moved swiftly to silence us. Starting with the Nigerian Minister of Information, Lai Mohammed. And yes, you heard me right. The Nigerian Minister of Information, our very own spin doctor. Yeah, his first name is Lai. It's inevitable, right? The pun is begging me. Lai called the shooting a fabrication of a massacre without bodies. He said I was a purveyor of fake news with the intent of tarnishing the nation's image, that I am a terrorist, amongst other things. The Nigerian army called the shooting fake and that I had made the whole thing up with a green screen. Yes, I have plans of heading to Hollywood after this speech. You know, 15 people died on the 20th of October, and not a single government official, police, or army personnel has been brought to book. 15, at least, all while singing the national anthem. As an artist and a DJ, I listen to music a lot, all the time. And I'm reminded of the legend, the artist, Fela Anikulapo Kuti. He was known for speaking truth to power with his art. And I'm reminded of his 1977 song titled Zombie. Here, Fela likens the Nigerian military to mindless zombies following idiotic orders. It was relevant then, it is relevant today, and it most likely will be relevant tomorrow, in the future. The same future that they say is in the hands of the leaders of tomorrow. But what we have tomorrow are recycled leaders of today who have failed to provide an enabling environment for young leaders to thrive and contribute. No, but they chose instead to kill us all off, one by one. This might sound outrageous to you, and you might wonder why. And I'll tell you. Our leaders are afraid. It's as simple as that. They're afraid of a thinking, an innovative, a collaborative, and a working Nigeria. They're afraid of every young Nigerian who, against all odds, have made it for themselves. They are afraid of me, the coconut head generation, as we like to call ourselves. We're hard-headed, we're not easily deceived by propaganda, and we stand up to our oppressors. And while we may not do this all the time because wahala no dey finish, as we like to say back home, I think there's a Nigerian in the crowd. Well, what it means, though, is that the problems never end. And while I understand that we have to take a break to put food on the table, to at least secure our mental health, know this: corruption, tyranny, abuse of power do not go on a break. And so today I'm choosing to use my voice and my talent to push for the things that we ought to have. And I want to ask you all, these fine people, to please join me and support my vision for promoting democracy, human rights values, and equality through arts. Thank you so much for your time.
And yeah, there you have it. That's DJ Switch. She was in the thick of things at Lekki Tollgate on the 20th of October 2020. And 1 year down the line, it's already like a milestone. And the reason I had to do this is because I would like for it to be etched in history, like in the history books, that the young minds didn't do, like the young people of our time, the youths of our time, didn't just do nothing. And I would like for this to be listened to by people and by generations to come, so that they know that people, the actual heroes, I mean, when they sing the national anthem, to remember the heroes, the fallen heroes of our past, these youths that died throughout the timeline leading to 20th of October 2020 are the true heroes, because they are fighting for the emancipation of the Nigerian youth. I don't want to go too deep into politics and all of those things, but the truth about it is, when you're suppressed, it gets to a point where you have to break out. So I'm just going to give like a quick timeline of the occurrences of, or the events that led to the EndSARS movement in 2020, dating back to 2016, when DJ Switch mentioned in her presentation, up to 2017, where one of the earliest uses of EndSARS occurs over the internet. So 2016 to 2017, and then 3rd of October 2020, the video of the EndSARS officer shooting a young man in Delta State goes viral online, and it started with the EndSARS. That's where the EndSARS hashtag started to trend even better. And on the 8th of October, EndSARS protests began in Lagos. And on the 10th of October, police were trying to disperse peaceful protesters in Abuja using water cannons and tear gas. And the government, on the 11th of October 2020, announces the dissolution of the SARS, the fourth announcement of the EndSARS movement, as DJ Switch mentioned, that started in 2016. On the 13th of October, protesters in Port Harcourt defied the governor's order, and they went ahead to protest. And then on the 14th of October, protests had held in Belgium, Canada, the UK, the US, and all around the world, and even on the internet. And on the 15th of October, the government bans protests in Abuja, which is typical, to silence the youth and to silence people who are activists and all of that, because even influencers all over the world, artists, world-renowned popular artists like Rihanna, actually went out to protest, or actually used their platform to send word out for the world to hear. Even Jack, the owner of Twitter, actually even started, a trended NSARS hashtag. And on the 14th of October, like I said, protests held all over the world in Belgium, Canada, the US, the UK. And then on the 16th of October, many of the Abuja and Lagos youth held candlelight memorials for the police brutality victims, so people who had already died. I mean, I was also seeing on social media where people were actually having prayer walks, holding hands and trying to pray for the country and all of that. So on the 19th of October, there was a mass prison break that happened in Edo State, leading to a statewide indefinite curfew. And then the day, 20th of October, soldiers opened fire on peaceful protesters in Alausa and Lekki areas of Lagos State. And then on the 21st of October, the government denies responsibility for the Lekki and Alausa shootings and launches an investigation. And to this day, as I tell you, there has been nothing done. Nobody has been brought to book to say, these are the people who are the perpetrators. The youth of this day are still asking who gave the kill order. Who gave the kill order? Who ordered those soldiers and the people of the law enforcement in general to shoot people? Who gave the kill order? I'm going to play some short clips that are viral on the internet just to tell you or give you a sense of the cries of the Nigerian youth to be emancipated from corruption and all of the things that are going on in the world, especially in Nigeria as we speak. Please listen.
Robbing, stealing. What's the issue? Why they killing us for no reason?
History books can't wait to tell of the generation that spoke up for justice. Protests with spaces online, hashtag the tweet and hold vigil on trend tables. Some put pen to cardboard, then raise this cause farther than arms can reach. Some sweat in traffic for this reason. Others sacrifice time, resources. We exercise restraint and in the face of conflict, redefine what it means to enforce the law. Some of us have lost lives for the cause, yet we persist in peaceful resistance for the green and white, so that we can all be better.
There you have it. There's a whole lot that we can say about this, and we can't stress it enough. But like I said earlier, I would like for this to be etched in history, in the history books, that on the 20th of October 2020, people died for the youth to have a better future, and for the children for the unborn to actually have a story to tell. These are the stories that should be told in time to come. This is a very emotional moment for the youth who have Nigeria at heart, who want and believe that Nigeria would be better. Since we were kids, they would always tell us Nigeria will be better. They always use the phrase, "it go better." And at the end of the day, we've grown for decades, and then we are still associated with ego better. When with this ego better? So I just don't want to get all emotional about this whole thing, but it's really heartbreaking and sad. But I'm going to leave you guys with this in mind, that you can also do the best you can with the very little resources that you have to make the change you can. The Bible even says charity begins at home. I believe you can start with yourself while you pray for the country to be better. Do things for yourself. Don't stay idle without doing anything. Nigerian youths are not lazy. Nigerian youths are very active and they are what we call hustlers. They make sure that they try to make ends meet even for their family. They live on a daily basis, working really hard, very smart, and all of that. And to the young ones listening to this should be a call to action. That you cannot just rest on your laurels. You cannot just rest on what you've achieved, but strive to do more. Strive to achieve better. Strive to outdo your last victory. Strive to outdo yourself. And the sky will just only be your starting point. Thank you for listening to this episode. There's a whole lot to be said, but I don't want to keep going on and on. But like I said, God bless your heart, and make sure you try to sow a seed of good in the lives of people around you. And the end will become a very beautiful one for you. Let it be beautiful. God bless you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for listening to this episode of Pulse Pods today. I hope you've learned something valuable that has helped you or that would help you in your daily life and living. Pulse Pods is on social media. You can find Pulse Pods on any of the social media platforms at PAULZPODZ on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And you can also find Pulse Pods on all other streaming platforms where you stream your podcasts. You can also follow me personally at DJ Pablo on Instagram, at DJ Pablo1 on Twitter, at DJ Pablo1 on Facebook, and at DJ Pablo. You can subscribe on YouTube. Thank you, and God bless your heart.